Welcome back to Werewolf, Chapter 3, Standoff. I need to talk. There was no way I was going back to sleep. Since I'd arrived in this accursed village, things had been getting more and more peculiar with every passing hour. The last dream freaked me out, and I needed to find answers to all the questions buzzing in my head. I need to talk it over with someone I trusted. Is that our friend, maybe? Okay. I have a choice. But let me just quickly think about that for a second, because it's been a few days. So Anya is our friend, right? The Norwegian girl. We're loyal with her. Olga, also we're loyal with her. Daniel, loyal. Yeah, I mean, that's maybe why it's proposed. Who do we trust the most? Like, for some reason, I'm thinking of Anya, because realistically we stuck out with her. She accompanied us. She's a neutral party. She's definitely neutral. Yeah, I think we should. There's a reason why we dragged her along with it and why she came. I'd come here with Anya, and despite all the strange things I'd done, she still stuck with me. Exactly. I messaged her and she messaged me back. I'm on a walk, come join me. The sun had just set and the moon wasn't up yet. I started walking. The forest loomed over the horizon. The activist camp was somewhere there. We met near the shop at Białowieża. It was a characteristic enough point, and easy to get to from anywhere in town. What is it? Anya asked. She looked worried. Something strange was happening to me. I know it sounds crazy, but I think something strange is happening to me. I need to get to the bottom of it. There is something strange happening, she nodded, but I have no idea what it is. I know even less than you. She frowned. Maybe we should go to your new friends, the activists. She smiled a little. They are weird. They must know something. It's not a very good advice, Anya. Yeah. Well, it was an option, technically. Well. It is an option. It's not her best idea, I guess, but we also won't want to get angry at her. I mean, they sure know things, but I'm not sure if I trust them. You know what they say, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. She smiled and started walking. Let's go, I'm sure they're not sleeping. We went to the activist camp. All together now. The camp had a different vibe than the logging site protest. There were more people there. We looked around, trying to take it all in. They are coming and going, Anya laughed, excited. The people in the camp seemed quite cheerful. The smells were intriguing. I feel like we have something with the smell. We could also smell the death around the trees. There were tents, and I could smell some bacon in the air. People were milling about, setting up camp, singing, preparing posters. It was a joint effort. I was hungry. My stomach growled. I was hungry. I looked around. I definitely need to talk to someone about what's going on, about what I felt. Alright. High rage means we're going to go, Olga. Olga spotted me right away. Well, hello again, she greeted me. I didn't expect to see you here so soon. Actually, she gave me a long, hard look. I didn't expect to see you again at all. Maybe we're loyal to her at least still, I think, so Intriguing to join the banter, maybe. Let's do that. Aren't you just a ray of fucking sunshine? I said with a broad smile. And to my surprise, she started to laugh. Her face softened. What brings you here, kid? She asked after a beat. Do we want to admit that we're confused? Let's try the truth, I guess. I'm confused, I answered. Is it really true? I mean, the stories you told me about my past and the forest? There's nothing to be confused about, she shook her head. It's perfectly clear that the government will destroy this unique forest if someone doesn't stop them. And you have your obligation to fulfill. She broke off and bit her lip. What do you want to do about it? Smash things, yeah. I want to do something, I said. Anything. I want to feel like I'm doing something that has a meaning, that will change what happens. I feel like I could smash those harvesters with a hammer. Do you have a hammer? Everyone expected something from me, and I couldn't just be an observer anymore. She looked at me. Her eyes were a weird color, like deep, dark honey or molasses. I might, she said, but I need your support because Cornell will try to push his own agenda. Let me remind myself again, like about Cornell, how we're standing with him these days. I think we had like some issues, right? We're cautious, not too bad, but... So, the tipping point. They all want to do something that night, but after a whole day's discussion they were still divided on what to do. 3 for one option, 3 for the other. I saw no reason to back up Cornell. So Olga's plan, preemptive strike, and the town. Or can I select something here? I guess no. Because we have only made friends with her, I guess we have no choice here. Interesting. Alright. With a little help from my friends, I voted for direct action, and soon we were on our way to the logging site. We had some harvesters to deface. So, Anya, I mean, I presume we're loyal to each other, that she has the same view towards me, and we're friends. I mean, I will tag her along, or she tags along. This is so exciting, Anya whispered. I've never done anything so illegal. We were just a group of dark silhouettes running through the night. The moon was hidden behind the clouds. I'm hiding in the shadows a bit. I was glad about that, gracious for the shadows that were hiding us. A new moon would have been better. Our rage is quickly deteriorating. I don't know if that's good when we're doing this. Of course, I would have preferred a new moon, a total darkness so that nobody saw us, but beggars can't be choosers. We soon reached the logging site. And I knew we were there only because I voted for direct action. I made a difference. Olga stood in the middle of the clearing, looking at the harvesters. She had a backpack on her shoulder. When she moved, I heard a metallic clatter coming from inside it. Okay. Let's get going, she said. She looked different in the dark. She seemed more angular, broader. Well, our rage is quickly going, but I don't think we would stop it at this point. I couldn't wait. Yeah, let's smash something, I agreed. Olga reached into her backpack. She tossed something my way. It wasn't a hammer, but a can of spray paint. Red. Oh, I grinned at her. I just grinned at her. I glanced from her shoulder and saw Cornell staring at me. This is a mistake. He shook his head and turned away. Alright, tell me why, buddy. So what would it be better the next time? I asked him to elaborate. We could vote for a plan that has a chance to actually help the forest. Cornell rolled her eyes. Cornell is a guy, right? I think it's a spelling mistake. Olga noticed the tension between us. People know that I'm right, she said, looking Cornell straight in the eye. You should have noticed that the first time you came here. Your plan will destroy lives, he answered. Destroy lives? Whose lives? I asked him to stop. Please, I said. We have work to do. The tension broke. Cornell shook his head and turned around. We sneaked on. Be careful and quiet, said Lisa. She also looked different. There was a camo face paint on her broad cheekbones. There are some guards nearby. I'll take care of them. And with that, she left. The harvesters loomed in the night, now more than ever reminding me of some distorted, terrible creature straight from a horror movie. Their black cables glistened and pulsed in the moonlight, and their stench hit me like a slap in the face. I shook the can and let go the first blotch of paint. It landed on the side of the harvesters. For a moment, I thought the machine shuddered like I wounded it. A sudden wave of fear rose in my throat. It would turn. It would crush me. I shook the feeling off. Well, I focus on my senses, I think. The stench was fouler here. Something must have crept underneath the harvesters and died there, I thought. And I gritted my teeth and started to work. Okay, have to do willpower. Blocking the stench. Trying to block the smell, I focused on the inside. And just started painting whatever shape comes to mind. What are you writing? Lisa asked, joining me. She tried to act cool, but she looked shaken by my graffiti. Just some abstract tags, I murmured. Not sure if I was ready to share that they were the symbols in my dreams. Don't lie to me, she said. They are pretty explicit and on point. Eventually our work for the night was done. I wrote "Save the Forest" in every language I know, said Anya, evidently proud of herself. And I might have also Google translated a few more. I looked at the defaced harvesters. I was proud of us. I was proud of what we've accomplished, and I contributed to it. Not sure if that was that good of a plan, to be honest. I thought with direct action she meant something a little bit more crazy than spray paints. Perhaps it was my destiny to win this war. The paint was slowly drying in the hot night air. Shouts in the night. We stopped for just a minute to admire our work, and for that moment everything was still and quiet. The air smelled of spray paint, the harvesters looked stupid and helpless. And then the stillness was broken. Hey, what are you? What the fuck? Oh shit, panicked Anya. The guards! Alright, cracking my knuckles. I took a few fast breaths and cracked my knuckles. I was ready. I looked at the guards. The guards were coming, and technically we were destroying property, but they were destroying the forest. Looking at the silhouettes between the trees, at the flashlight, their batons, all that gear, I realized that they didn't belong here. They were wrong. I'm letting this force speak through me. I took a step towards the guards. You shouldn't be here, I said, feeling the force around me. I was more than Maya, I realized. For the man in front of me, I wasn't Maya at all. I was a dark shape between even darker shapes. I was the voice of the forest. Men like you walking in a place like this, in the middle of the night, it's unwise. Negotiations. One of them laughed nervously. Is that a threat? You're threatening us, girl? Olga laughed from behind my back. Oh, you have no idea how threatening we are. Well, I'm also going to take a step forward. I'd go home if I were you, I said. You can still have a pleasant evening. A job's a job, said one of the closest to me, a grim shape who pointed his flashlight right into my eyes. We're calling the police, don't move. I crossed my arms. I'd like to see you try, I grinned. We had numbers, after all. He paused, unsure, and in that instant the phone flew out of his hand. I don't know how Kim got behind him, but they were there, chuckling mockingly. Oh, sorry, did you want to call someone? The man turned around and punched them right in the face. They didn't even flinch, and then they grabbed the man, lifted him up, and threw him at the other guards. I grinned and joined the fight. Night fight. The clearing shattered like a broken window into sharp pieces, its edges cut clean by the rays of a flashlight, swirling in the darkness. One piece, a shout, another, a silhouette leaping, a dodge, a grunt, a punch, a cry. Curses in 3 different languages. I danced between the pieces, balancing on the edges. I body slammed into one of the men, and he stumbled. I roared. I threw my head back, looked at the sky, and roared the way I'm sure he'd never heard any girl roar. I'd never heard any girl roar like that. He jumped back rapidly, lost his balance, and fell to the ground with a loud thud. A flashlight shone his way. Anya screamed. Anya screamed and grabbed my arm. I saw blood. Blood on his head, blood on the stone next to his head, blood on the ground, dark and fresh. Hard choice. That is a hard choice. How are we looking at that? Brave, inspiring, analytical, spiritual. I'm hard to say. Like, I don't want to be necessarily like. I don't think we intend to really do it. But I don't think we want to not, like, he did deserve it in the end, I guess, maybe. We could justify that. But it wasn't a victory because we didn't intend for that, maybe. But he had it coming. It was a fight. And in a fight, you sometimes got hurt. I turned away from the man to look for another target. Then I heard a shout. She killed him! One of the men shouted, the horror clear in his voice. He directed his flashlight at my face, blinding me. I yelled to scare him. Worry about yourself, I yelled to scare him. But he wasn't impressed. He rushed towards me and we started to struggle. A second later I noticed a huge silhouette behind him. It looked at me and its eyes were glowing. Leave her alone! It growled, and I recognized the voice. Was it Olga? It was Olga. She was bulging, muscles growing bigger, bones getting bigger. She let out a joyous roar, grabbing the man and slashed him with her claws. What was happening? How could it be real? Why wasn't I scared? I shook my head. Something warm landed on my face. More blood, howls, terrified screams. Anya looked at me, panicked. What do we do? The man screamed again as another monster appeared in the circle of light. It howled and lunged at the first beast. Well, the monsters seem to be our friends, at least, so I would say I'm gonna go for the man with the gun. I don't want him to hurt my friends. I acted on instinct. I zeroed in on the man pointing the gun, and I launched myself at him. The monsters clawed at one another. Their jaws closed on each other's throats. Blood splattered, drenching me, and before I knew it, it was all over. I saw life leave the strange grey eyes. The surviving monster lifted its back and white muscle. It reeked of death, and its teeth were dripping in blood, and jumped at me. A gunshot tore through the night. And then there was only pain. Oh boy. Bloody moon. The pain was unbearable. Nothing in my life had prepared me for this. I tried to stop the bleeding. Blinded by the blood in my eyes, I tried to assess the damage. My shoulder and chest burned. The flesh felt wrong and slippery under my fumbling fingers. Blood was pumping out through the broken skin at the alarming rate, and I realized it was too late. I stumbled. It was too late. The forest caught my fall with a bed of moss and twigs. I stopped thrashing, and a cold numbness engulfed me. No, I tried to get up. I punched the earth, trying to get some feeling in my hands. I gritted my teeth and tried to get up. I collapsed again. I felt so cold. Suddenly there was light. I looked up. The full moon. It looked different. Okay, Luna in her full glory. My health dropped to 0. When you lose all your health or willpower, you become impaired. This will make physical tasks if you have 0 health, or social or mental tasks if you have 0 willpower harder and sometimes impossible. The moon was a goddess, and she noticed me. "Get up," she said, and I got up. I get up. I feel good. I know that I shouldn't, but I don't remember why. I don't care. Alright, I'm gonna stretch. Okay, we have 5 health points now, you see. And I have even more willpower and more rage possible. Wow, I can do 5 rage. But 3 rage already felt like crazy. My muscles are sore and cramped, so I stretch like I've never stretched before. My arms are longer. My legs are stronger. My heart is pumping, and I feel like I've spent my whole life packed into a box, and I'm finally been set free. I breathe. Oh, I take a breath and feel my ribs and muscles move. The forest smells of blood and fear and excitement. I'm happy. I laugh happily, and others' laughter joins me. We laugh and sing to the moon. My mind is clear. My mind is clearer than it's ever been before. I see the world in sharp contrast of black and white, movement and stillness. I smell prey. I hear language in the hooting of owls, the whistling of the wind, and the snarling of wolves. My fate has found me. Something touches my leg, and I look down. There's a small, malformed creature sticking something sharp in the muscles of my thigh. The creature is no threat to me, but its presence is annoying, and its smells almost sends me reeling, and I don't like being pricked. Ooh. Pooh. I stick my hand in it. Let's try to keep some sense of morality if I can. I reached out and I stick my fingers in the creature's belly. When I pull my hand back, there are strings attached to it. The creature pulls the strings and dances like a marionette. And for a moment it's funny. Then I lose interest. My ears prick, and I hear some creatures running blindly through the bushes. I feel better. My leg no longer stings, and I feel better than ever before. Prey. Hunt. I smell prey and I start hunting. They do not see me as I move silently through the undergrowth. The creatures are running away, their backs turned to me. A growl escapes from between my teeth, and one of them turns my way. It challenges me. I attack. I don't skip a beat as I lurch at it and close my jaws on its head. The taste is sweet. Piercing light burns my eyes. I hear more creatures coming my way. They want to hurt me. I strike them one by one. I hide in the shadows, and they are too slow, too dumb, too clueless to notice me. I strike them down, one by one. Some fight back. Some manage to defend themselves briefly, but most of them don't see me coming. A new smell. The wind brings a new smell. The air tastes of fur and musk and blood. Shapes move among the trees, but they are no creatures. They are people, like me. Suddenly I'm surrounded by them. I think I know them. They seem familiar. It's like I met them in the past, but they were hidden. They close in on me. What do they want? We need to preserve our rage a little bit. I wait. I relax and wait for them, unflinching. They approach me and sniff the air. Their smells are overwhelmingly familiar. Once the people had sounds attached to them, but now I realize the sounds were not their true names. Run with us, they say. I howl with joy. We howl with joy, and everything that hears us trembles with fear. Then we run through the forest and through the night. I get lost in the moment and pay no attention to the others. I am alone in the heart of the forest. I look up and see no moon, only clouds and tangled branches. And something changes. Something changed and I realize how tired I was. I stumbled. Darkness. Nothing was okay. The night sky was full of stars. I opened my eyes. Confused, I opened my eyes. The forest around me was thick and dark. The tree trunks, wrapped tightly in dark leafed ivy, were covered in ripples of lichen where the vines hadn't taken hold. The thorny, leafless bushes at their base were overrun with nettles. The fungi radiated with a ghoulish, sickly green light. Dark, sponge-like mushrooms clung to the fallen trees. I mean, our sense of smell is, I think, very good, so I tried to breathe. I took a deep breath and winced. There was a foul smell in the air. Suddenly I realized it wasn't the forest that smelled so foul. It was me. I looked down and saw my hands were covered in a dark substance. I was naked. A sticky, glistening film of liquid was clinging to my skin. I could feel it on my face and my hair. Blood. Someone had drawn strange symbols on my skin. In the drying blood. Was it me? I knew what was coming. I remembered my dream and slowly lifted my eyes. Dead bodies were strewn around. There was a severed head right in front of me. I felt sick. The face was contorted, the eyes bulging, the mouth open, the tongue stuck out. It was obscene. I doubled over, retching. I recognized that face. Oh God, I recognized that face. It was Cornell. His grey, piercing eyes now dull and dead. It was my fault. Ugh. I cried. I felt tears running down my cheeks and let the sadness in. The bushes rustled, and a moment later I saw Olga. She came out from between the trees, wiping something red off her hands. She looked at me, at the head, at my face. She came closer and squatted beside me. "It's okay," she patted my shoulder. "You're a werewolf." I looked at her. I blinked. Everything faded to black. Wow. If we can live with that, well, I think we will find out, although in the next episode. Thank you very much for joining me, and see you then.